This is a tutorial video on replacing the battery door for the digital Harinezumi camera. This is a Model 1, but this battery door replacement will work on any models that use a replaceable CR2 battery. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using this light gray door as I found it records on video much better than the black, but I figure most of you watching will likely be purchasing the black. Getting started here, you're going to want to go ahead and pre-thread the screw posts. So as these come from the factory, the two holes don't have any threads made for the screws yet. So I found it's a lot easier to install the door if you go ahead and put your screws in and create the threads. If you do have the screws from your original unit, I highly recommend reusing them, as they're specialty screws made for threading in plastic and nylon, where the best off-the-shelf replacements I could find are standard metric screws. So they'll work, but the original screws will be a little bit better for this application. Just adding a quick note in here, you may need to apply just a little bit of force to actually get the screws started threading. Like I said, given that these posts haven't been threaded before, they're a little bit smaller than the width of the screw. So if it feels like maybe the screw isn't going in or the hole's too small, just give it a little bit of force and the threads will catch on the nylon. And like with any thread forming material, like plastic or this nylon, you really want to take extra care to be sure to not over tighten your screws. So once you get your screw tightened and down to the bottom of the post and you feel just a little bit of resistance, make sure to stop there. It's always better to under tighten screws in softer material like this than to over tighten. And as you can see on this photo on the screen, this is an example of what can happen to a plastic screw post when you tighten it too much. You can also sometimes strip it out rather than break it, which can be fixed, but given how small these battery doors are, it'd be very difficult. So once you get your post threaded, go ahead and take your screws back out. So on this door here, there's two parts of it that I want to point out for you to be mindful of when you're installing. It's a very simple installation, but if you've never put one of these in before, there's some good things to note. So the main 2 points I want to point out are this little notch here and this little stabilizer post right here. They're very close to each other. And you want to make sure that when you're installing the door onto the camera, that neither of those are, pressing up against any of the metal tab in any way that feels like there's going to be too much force put on it or anything like that. Essentially, this little post slides into this rail, and this notch here slides onto the outside of the same rail. So to install the door, all you're going to do is that first notch I pointed out, you're going to want to sort of wrap it around the metal tab and find just the right, way for it to not really make any clicking or friction with that post. And then once it's installed, you can sort of see it slides up and down, and that means you have it in right. You just want to be very careful when you're taking the door in and out. If you need to remove it for any reason, that this stabilizer post doesn't bend or catch on the inside of that rail. So one more time, it's a very gentle, kind of delicate motion. Like I said, you shouldn't feel any friction or force needed to fit the door into place. But from there, once your door is in place, I sort of hold it with one finger in the back and one thumb on front, and you can go ahead and install your 2 screws again. And you're done. So when you first install your door, you may feel a little bit more friction than the original door the tolerances on this MJF nylon aren't necessarily quite as tight as ABS plastic. So over time, it may just need to sort of set in, and these little metal tabs may slowly make just slight little grooves on the nylon to allow it to slide a little easier. And there you go. And just if this is maybe your first time with experiencing anything issues with these cameras, the main point of failure on this door is this little hook right here. It hooks into this. I don't know if we can capture that on the camera, but yeah, it hooks into that little tab right there. So just when you're opening and closing this door on your camera, just be mindful to really try and get that tab slid right on there. I think this nylon is going to hold up really well for anyone using it, but it's still worth noting given how small the clip is there. But that's all. Thank you for watching, and hope you enjoy getting back to taking some wonderful photos with this awesome camera. Thank you.